GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Listen here, Pumpkinhead. This is the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and you are listening to my favorite podcast. Oh, baby, it helps me win so much money. You are listening to Chaz and Jay on the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. It's the American Dream, and they are living it.
Here we go. Hey, everything on three. Number three. Win on one. Oh, win on three. 1, 2, 3. I had a little mixed up in there. Eyes on three. Everything on 3. 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. It's your boy Chaz, and as always, I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jay Coleman. Jay, what's up, dog?
What's up?
Welcome back to the show, and welcome back to the show as well. We got the one, the only, no nickname, no nonsense, Adam Van Hout. Adam, what's up, dog?
What's going on, guys?
All right, we got some music happening, so we might have to relocate the recording here if it's picking up. So we'll find that out.
Maybe we'll get lucky when we break for sponsors.
Yeah,
see if it picks it up or not.
We'll see what happens. So how was everybody's first week of fantasy football?
Jay, you want to start?
Dog shit.
Well, Jay, I know that in the official Fantasy Football Bros podcast league, you lost. Big time, pretty much.
It was a tough one for you.
Lost. How are you feeling? Are you in your feels about it?
I'm over fantasy already after week 1.
You're retiring already?
Yeah. 1 week in, I'm 0-2.
So, out of your 2 leagues, you are 0-2, and I mean, you did. You got beat. You didn't get stomped. Okay, I looked at your score. I thought you were beat bigger. You weren't beat that bad. You lost by 9.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad for Jay, but a loss is a loss in fantasy football, and week 1 is always the toughest.
I'm looking at your game, Adam. You only won by 5.
I did. I got lucky. Kind of. Well, he had Cortland Sutton on Monday night, and we all know how I feel about Cortland Sutton.
Meh. I, on the other hand, won by 59. Doing quick math. 40-59. So, yeah, sorry about that, Chad's dad. Shit happens. I just want to mention that even though I shit on him all summer, I drafted and went with Aaron Rodgers, and that was a mistake so far because he was garbage, and he totaled me a total of 4.7 points, and I won with 140 points. So that should tell you how my team did, y'all. Fuck you. And I lost Keenan Allen in that game early. The dude went out at like the second drive of the game. He already had 10 points.
And he's not playing this week.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, this week would have already happened since this will come out on Friday or Saturday.
So you're Nostradamus. He didn't play yesterday.
Yes. Technically, yes. He will not play yesterday.
I also want to thank the man, the myth, the legend, Jay Coleman, for the awesome trade he participated in with me. I put it up to him. He sent me a text and he said, "Man, I've got Julio Jones and Russell Gage. Why do I have both of them?" I'm like, "Well, I'll take one off your hands. Which one?" He's like, "I don't care." I'm like, I'll give you Odell Beckham for Julio." And he said yes, and Julio was decent. So appreciate that.
There you go.
And Chris Godwin also re-injured himself.
Yeah, he's questionable now. So
who was my number 2 receiver after Keenan Allen. So both of my starting receivers are already got the old hamstring injuries.
Week 2 could be troublesome for you.
I still got Gabe Davis and Julio Jones, who didn't practice today with a knee injury.
Shocker.
So
veteran rest day.
Hopefully. So we'll see. So Jay, you ready to burn your team already? Who do you hate from your team so far?
Everyone at this point.
That's Jay for you. You guys liking the live concert going on right now?
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. They sound just wonderful.
It's just a bunch of drunk old guys above our head right now. We record our show every Wednesday night where we are, and they're just drunk idiots and either are doing it on purpose or forgot. So, and I hope they hear this podcast because I would tell them the same thing. So, we've got a couple of new segments for this show. We're going to talk about some news and notes and stuff. But first, we're going to hit our sponsors. So, everybody check out these awesome sponsors. Oh, and we're back. Thank you for checking out those sponsors. And we'll just get into some injury notes. A couple of major injuries. I mean, obviously started with the loss now of Dak Prescott for half the year. So that makes me kind of want to say be weary of your Cowboys, y'all.
They did say that they're shooting for 4 weeks. And he's not going on IR.
Okay.
So,
well, how'd that work for Russell Westbrook Wilson last year?
Not great. So, different type of injury, though, so we'll see what happens.
I don't know. It's more. I think that's more of Jerry Jones being optimistic than anything else.
Jerry Jones will say anything to please the fans.
If I were Jerry Jones, everyone's going to talk about going out and signing Jimmy G or trading for Jimmy G. But why waste your capital? If you're going to do something, you know what? Go out and get Cam Newton and run the ball with Zeke and run the ball with Cam.
Yeah, same type of quarterback, a little bigger than Dak, I think.
Yeah, not as like accurate as a passer, but get Cam, run the ball.
Do you want to take a chance on Cam Newton, who had 2 really bad years?
Do you want to take a chance on Cooper Rush?
I think they've done that in the past.
I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
It's a no-win situation either way, I think. I don't know.
Well, plus bringing in a quarterback at this point is tough anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, what is Jimmy G or Cam Newton going to do?
I mean, Cam's garbage, so he's got no arm.
But if you think about it, when they brought Cam into Carolina last year, it was pretty decent the first couple of weeks, like right off the streets. So, like...
Yeah, but still didn't start over Sam Darnold until Darnold got hurt.
Because he didn't know the system. So, like, Cam could do that maybe in Dallas. Come in, go in for half the game, a quarter of the game, and run the ball a little bit. I don't know. Could be something.
It's a thought. I don't see it happening, but...
Maybe the Cowboys will go after Sam Darnold.
Good luck if they do that.
Ugh. Ugly there.
Yeah, really ugly.
Another big injury is obviously Elijah Mitchell being out now for 8 weeks, right? I think they put him on the long-term.
Is that what it was? 8 weeks?
I think it was a long-term IR. So, like, not a torn ACL, but a strained or torn MCL. So that's half the season he's
2
gone.
months. I have him in 2 leagues.
So, yeah. That's half the season.
Unfortunately, in one of my leagues, he was my second running back, along with Cam Akers, who sat my bench last week, thank God. And my starter is Josh Jacobs. My running backs are ass.
I believe Josh Jacobs was a fantasy crush for you.
He is.
It was 1 week. I'm not out.
He's on a couple of my teams. 3, I think.
And just hang on to him because he could be a Bill in a few weeks. You never know.
Maybe. But he's still a fantasy crush. I still like to have him on my team. It's only week 1, and he did have not a great game, but he's
definitely their starting running back.
He's their starting running back, and they're
down.
They were down, so they didn't really get a chance to run the ball. But when they did run the ball, he was okay. He went like 10 for 57 or something, which, obviously in fantasy world it's not great, but during a game it's not the worst.
Did anybody get any of the Jeff Wilson love on waivers? I did in my other 2 leagues. So
I missed out on all of my waiver claims.
Well, country music superstar Eric Van Houten must have knew something because he drafted Jeff Wilson as his 3rd running back.
Yeah, I think he might be psycho or something.
Or he's got some kind
psychic,
of texting with Kyle Shanahan or something.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, he put the hit out.
He might have put the hit out. What an ugly game, though. Did you guys watch that game with the rain? Oh my god!
It was awful.
It was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. And I'm waiting to see if one of y'all are going to dunk on me for Trey Lance because it was not good.
I was wondering how long this episode would go before you brought up Trey Lance.
Well, I was going to bring him up anyway.
So the only reason why I'm not going to dunk on you for Trey Lance is because of the weather situation.
Sure, and I think he deserves that at least.
I will give him another week because I do have him as a backup in 2 of my leagues now.
Well, can I tell you, though, that Trey Lance scored more fantasy football points at quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, and there was like one other guy, pretty big guy that he scored more fantasy points in that nasty weather. So that's like, again, that's kind of like give him his chance for fantasy football.
You're just grasping at straws to plead your case now.
So it's just an explanation of like, let's see what the guy could do in good weather.
Like I said, I won't dunk on you today because of the weather. We'll see what happens next week.
Jay, how you feeling about Najee Harris?
He's dead. with TJ Watt, they just both decide they're like, yeah, we're dead.
Well, I'm pretty sure he thinks he's going to play this week. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Did you know he's a doctor?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was the one who broke his original injury when the team was like trying to cover it up.
That's
and
true.
He was like, "Oh no, actually, I have a serious injury." So,
I think he'll be fine though. There doesn't seem to be a lot of concern about him.
I don't sense any panic over there. So I guess that's a good sign for Najee owners.
Yeah, he's just
The player knows himself better than the doctors could anyway.
the scariest part about Najee Harris this year is he didn't catch a lot of passes. And that was his bread and butter last year. So if he can
well, he did have the receiving touchdown.
but he didn't catch a lot of them.
No, he didn't.
I mean, dude, he had a game with
still,
22 receptions, I think, last year. I
I'm
wanted
aware.
to murder
I
him.
had
that
him
week.
on my team.
So, I mean, that's where he makes a lot of his hay. So, I mean, Mitch Trubisky doesn't have a big history of checking down to like David Montgomery. So, who knows, right? Other injuries, obviously, to mention T. Higgins with a concussion. Who knows how long that's going to be? That could be he's fine, or that could be a 4-week thing.
I can't wait till we get to Zach Taylor. But he came out today and said that he's progressing nicely through protocol. So we'll see what happens come Thursday and Friday at practice.
What'd you guys think about Nathaniel Hackett's head coaching debut, y'all?
Terrell.
Wow is right. Like, first of all,
You paid Russell Wilson $230 million to kick a 64-yard field goal.
right, not in Denver, mind you. Not in Denver.
My favorite part was after the game, he was like, yeah, we were really confident in Brandon to kick that 64-yard field goal. And then the next day at the press conference, he was like, yeah, I probably should have gave it to Russell Wilson and see if he can get 5 yards. Well, you're on the fast track to losing your fucking job.
That was after he got reamed up by the ownership and everything else, and then he was like, "Yeah, guys, I probably should have let the fucking $230 million guy maybe try and win that one."
Well, you know me and my hating coaches being so conservative. How, could you be any more conservative than him this last week?
Well, not only that, but the kicker is like 0 for 5
Right.
from like around that distance. So
in Denver, which is you cook
I don't know why you'd be like, oh, you know what? He's 0 for 5 from around anything around this distance. So you know what? We'll give it a shot.
Right, and the simple fact of like, if you look, did Russell Westbrook Wilson look any sort of like electric or like big armed? Absolutely not.
No, he didn't have a terrible game.
But no,
I thought he looked a lot better than he did his last year in Seattle.
Who led that team in targets?
Dude, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. Devontae Williams stole the show.
But he shouldn't be stealing the show.
He shouldn't be. He checked down a lot, probably too much.
Yes.
But I mean, that's great for fantasy owners who thought Javonte Williams was going to be something, because here we are.
But is that sustainable? Because if you think about it,
it's not.
And I do want to have that conversation about why Javonte, I still think, could be a miss. Because if that's sustainable, he'll be great. But Russell's not really that way, and it could have been something in the game plan. And Melvin Gordon crushed Javonte Williams in the rushing attempts. Like, doubled him up in rushing attempts. So, like, that could be scary for Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams still saw more snaps total.
But he was never a pass catcher until yesterday, really.
Apparently.
So, I mean, that was my fear on him.
Yeah, apparently.
And I do want to give a little love to something that I didn't think would happen. And you guys, this isn't a dunk or a fantasy lap. Before Javonte Williams leading, do you know who was leading in running back targets for receptions? Was Breece Hall. But the problem is he didn't catch a lot of them. But
he did not.
I said that he wasn't going to get a lot of targets and stuff. So I was wrong so far about that, but he still wasn't very good.
The Jets were not very good.
Yeah, I mean,
Let alone Breece Hall being very good.
Yeah. So, like, I just wanted to point that out. That's pretty much... Oh, just kickers in general. I mean, the ending of that Bengals and Steelers game, wow. The ending of that Texans and Colts game, wow.
Rest in peace, Goggles.
Goggles released, cut. Your brother must be
They
upset.
did cut him.
My brother's probably crying.
He had him
so.
in every league. He had him in both leagues. He's had him every year.
I got the text. He was like, "Fuck, I need a kicker," and I go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "They cut him," and I was like, "Not Goggles."
Goggles, no. Just a weird, but you know what? And I think a lot of that has to do with it was week 1 and everybody's very conservative in the preseason, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but people are coming out sloppy. I mean, even if you look at week 1, the Bills were sloppy for 30 minutes. Then they weren't sloppy anymore. And the Rams were sloppy for 50 minutes. So, like, I just think that people are still getting their wheels
when you say the Rams, you mean the Rams minus Cooper Kupp.
Well,
You have to differentiate now because Cooper Kupp is outstanding regardless of how the Rams look.
True.
And the rest of the team was just non-existent.
Cooper Kupp does have a interception though caused.
That's true.
That was a high throw by Matt Stafford. I don't blame Cooper Kupp for that at all.
Here's
Kind
my
of though, but it did hit him in the hands, and he definitely should have had
well.
it.
Here's my problem with Cooper Kupp. Well, not necessarily Cooper Kupp, just with the Rams offense in general. They fucking downgrade it with piece of shit Allen Robinson because he's garbage.
Talk about a victory lap on that one.
You
huh?
know what I'm saying? And I'm not even putting that as my victory lap. He is fucking garbage.
This is his non-victory lap right
Yeah,
now.
imagine my victory lap and it's coming. They went from having Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Odell Beckham to Cooper Kupp and some other white guy and some other white guy and Allen Robinson.
For speaking of Robert Woods, for being on the Titans, he didn't do anything either.
No, he didn't.
So, I mean, there's a
But he did probably just as much as Allen Robinson.
yes, absolutely. I think Robinson only had 2 targets all game. He caught one for like 8 yards, maybe.
He sucks.
Yeah,
Not good.
it's not good luck either when Stafford's shit talking you, going to the sidelines, and it's caught on camera.
Right, because he's not good.
And then McVay's got to be like, we got to get him more involved. And it's like, Stafford's done with him. Like, he's like, fuck this guy.
You could be right because Stafford, like, he makes that decision. I mean, they can throw Allen Robinson out there. Stafford could just be like, nah, brah.
I don't know, man. Obviously, we don't know what's going through the mind of Matt Stafford as he's back there, but as he's reading the field, is he seeing Allen Robinson not run the right routes or
Not be in the right spot?
Not being in the right spot?
Not
where he should be
trying?
Not trying? I mean,
Probably.
that could very well be the reason why he went to Cooper Kupp 17 times.
Or is it a case of he's just peppering his favorite target a little too much?
Probably some of both. I mean, that was the argument of Stafford going to the sidelines was like that Robinson wasn't trying on that play. I mean, it didn't matter anyway either, but and then I think half of it is probably, Cooper Kupp's his man, so.
Right, and Stafford heavily used to target Megatron, and you can't compare Megatron to Kupp. I mean, Megatron was the best receiver in like
he
a
was
generation.
Also 6'5". I'm pretty sure Cooper Kupp's like 5'10".
No, Coop's a big guy, but I don't know. It's just, I think Coop's probably like 6'2", 6'3", but Megatron was the best receiver of generation, where Cooper Kupp is maybe one of the
Cooper
best.
Kupp was like 5'8".
No, he's not a little guy. He's not like a Cole Beasley. Like, he's not that kind of guy.
I hate when he's right.
Thank you. Say it.
He's 6'2".
Thank you. Yeah, he's not, like I said, he's not tiny. He's not Megatron.
He's a small 6'2".
He's definitely a small 6'2" because he looks a lot smaller than that on TV.
I think he's actually taller than Robert Woods, to be honest. I think he was. So I guess I took a minor little victory lap on Allen Robinson there, but I have other victory laps. So before we get into that, did you get your answer about Robert?
Robert Woods is 6 foot.
Yeah, so he was the tall guy there. I remember that. So does anybody else have any other news or notes they want to touch on before we get to our new segments?
I'm good. I'm good if you're good.
I'm good.
All right, well, let's move to our new segments, and this is called Victory Lap.
Time for a victory lap.
All right, so let's talk about our victory laps right now. And I'll start so you guys can kind of get the feel of this situation. Victory lap for all you at home. Something you called, you knew was going to happen. You called this player, this coach, the situation's going to happen. And you can talk about as many as you'd like. And I'll start with I got 3. One of them's just quickly. I called it in the draft we did. You can look back to the podcast and listen. I said that Damian Pierce is not going to be the man and Rex Burkhead's going to be the man. And that's obviously true. So Rex Burkhead was one of the most added players in fantasy remember I said that exactly.
I remember you saying that, and I put in a claim for him and ended up getting him in one of my leagues. So
it doesn't mean he'll be good, but I just knew that coaching staff.
Will he be viable? Maybe.
Rex Burkhead always is when he's playing.
If he catches 6 balls a game, who cares?
But that's not my real victory laps. You know where my real victory laps is going. DeAndre Swift and Saquon Barkley. Come on.
This is his show, by the way.
The biggest thing.
It's almost disgusting sometimes, isn't it?
When I'm right, I'm going to save my baby boy Saquon for a little bit. Let me talk about Swift first, because I got flack for taking him in the first round of that league, and I do not regret my decision at all.
He missed practice today with an injury.
He did. But the biggest thing that made me happy about Saquon Barkley is he had, I think, only one reception.
Are you talking about Swift or Barkley?
I'm sorry, Barkley. I'm sorry. You're messing me up. The biggest thing about Swift was he only had one reception, and last year, his big games would come off of 8 receptions for 70 yards and things like that. That guy ran for 140 yards and scored a touchdown with one reception.
I was very surprised at the way Philly's defense could not stop him.
He's electric, dude.
I was very surprised, and I looked at it, and I go, son of a bitch, Jazz is right again.
Again, I like that. And then, obviously, my big victory lap is hit the Saquon Barkley.
Jesus Christ, please talk about Saquon Barkley some more.
You guys watched it. The best part about Saquon Barkley...
We're going to rename this podcast Saquon Barkley Podcast.
The Barkley Cast. The Saycast.
Welcome to the Quancast.
The best part about Saquon Barkley is he had that 60-yard run, right? Which was great. And if you took that out, the guy still would have had like 120 yards and a touchdown. And that's like what you need to see in those kind of players. He scored that insane 2-point conversion that won them the game. Big ups.
Oh, fucking the balls on Dable, huh?
Big baller Dable.
I'm happy for the Giants. I don't dislike them, and good for Barkley for revitalizing himself. Hopefully he can sustain it, though. I don't see why not.
How can he? I mean,
as long as he doesn't get hurt again.
Yeah, if they're going to feed him, and if they're down, they're going to throw to him. Sometimes I'm in heaven about that. So Jay, give me your victory lap. Who's your victory lap?
I want Barkley to break a leg so we don't have to hear about him anymore.
You'll still hear about him.
No, because he'll be dead, and I'll be right.
Well, you're not right yet, so.
Yeah.
What are you right about? Nothing. Okay, moving on to that. What do you got?
Not much in the first week so far, but I am right about my guy AJ Dillon. Yep. Dude's a beast. Backup running back in 20 points. I'll take it.
I was surprised.
Huge game.
I was surprised.
I'm very surprised that Aaron Jones did not.
Well, I was surprised that he had more receptions than Aaron Jones.
Well, I don't know if you guys noticed. They I don't know when it was, but they pulled Aaron Rodgers and put in Jordan Love towards the end of the game.
Oh, I don't even know.
I'm not sure how long he was in for. I don't know if it was like the last drive of the game and they were just like, hey, go out there. But I was watching the end of that and I go, oh my God, that's not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the last drive of the game.
Either way.
So are you all in with A.J. Dillon as starting him number 2 running back the rest of the way now?
Yeah.
He's not just a flex guy for you anymore? You saw enough to make you feel that way?
Yeah. I mean, especially if my trend continues right now, he's not going to be in the flex. He's going to be starting.
Well, I think so, too. I think he is comfortable. Like, I still think I like Chase Edmonds over him because that's kind of my debate. Those two, I have them around the same time just because of receptions. But they didn't have Miami was so far ahead, they didn't have to do anything to beat New England.
Yeah.
So
and Green Bay's receivers suck.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to didn't take long for Aaron Rodgers to be a little bitch.
No,
and he still sucks.
Tell you what, though, I have Aaron Rodgers in our podcast league. I am so hyped to start him next week. I think he's going to this week. He's going to be crazy.
Aaron Rodgers, after a loss, is always dynamite.
And it's the Bears. And
it is against the Bears.
And he
But
owns the Bears.
Yeah, and the only reason why they rank so highly right now is because they held the 49ers to like 10 points.
In a fucking monsoon, right.
So, with that being said, like, their defense is just, it's not that good. It was the conditions that helped them a lot.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what Aaron Rodgers can do against the Bears.
He also owns the Vikings, though, and he got beat by them. So
Well, if y'all remember our picks, I picked the Vikings to win that division, and I believe you did too.
I still
yeah,
picked,
so did I.
I still picked the Packers, I think.
You did.
Sure I did.
You did. So we'll have to see where it goes. Remember, Aaron
But
Rodgers.
it's only week 1.
Aaron
so-
Rodgers got stomped by the Saints last year, week 1, and then went on to lose one more game.
His receivers are incredibly bad right now. Like they total like nothing.
I'm not saying that Alan Lazard is the answer, but he desperately needs Alan Lazard.
Dude, that is making me so happy that I have Alan Lazard because I think Aaron Rodgers is going to, like, just baby him now.
Speaking of Alan Lazard, I have a trade that I made in one of my other leagues that I want you guys to hear me out on, and it involves Alan Lazard. I had some pieces that I didn't really need. I traded Jerry Jeudy, big booty Jerry Jeudy, George Kittle, DeAndre Hopkins, and Drake London
Jesus.
for Mike Evans, Alan Lazard, and Zach Ertz. Mind you, my starting wide receivers already were A.J. Brown and Devontae Adams.
It's not bad, but I just think I would have liked to keep Hopkins coming back.
I thought that initially, which is why I drafted him, because
Right.
I'm like, okay, if I can just get to 3-3, I have a pretty good shot. But I gained Evans, and I don't really mind.
No, you could be
losing.
right, but you lost Kittle.
I lost Kittle.
That's tough. But, I mean,
It was
It's not that tough because he barely plays.
yeah.
He didn't play.
Yeah.
and I got Zach Ertz in the process of that trade, and he didn't do great, but he had a touchdown, like 50 yards and a touchdown. I'll take that all day long.
How bad does Arizona look, guys?
Really bad.
Holy shit.
Really bad.
They-
Which brings me to my victory lap.
Go on.
Patrick Mahomes is my victory lap, and I told you guys before that the Chiefs are still daddy. I don't care that there's no Tyreek Hill. Doesn't matter. Mahomes still got it done. 5 touchdowns to 4 different receivers, and I'm pretty sure two of those were Allaire. So, but he used his not so Tyreek Hill receivers to do
Yep.
that. So, and of course he has Kelsey still, so there's a touchdown there.
And I mentioned before that this is, I think, could be good for Patrick Mahomes because he's forced to be a better quarterback now instead of staring down Tyreek Hill half the time and just waiting for him to be open. So now he has to scan the field, find the open guy, and throw it, and he did pretty well last night.
Yeah, I mean 360 yards
Yeah.
and 5 touchdowns is a pretty good stat line. So
But
I'll take that victory
To be
lap.
fair, I mean, can you name 3 starting defenders on Arizona that are playing right now?
I don't care if I know
They're
the defense
horrible.
or not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait to see.
Well, I mean, okay.
You
I'm
should
not saying-
torch bad defenses, though.
Agreed.
You should.
Yes, you absolutely should, because those are. I mean, we saw it with the Bills
Yeah.
last
Well,
year, losing to Jacksonville. A great offense lost to a
Yep.
mediocre offense, barely.
Yeah, you got to torch bad
But
defenses. So
these are the games that you should win,
Mhm.
and Patrick Mahomes went out there, got it done, and put all the critics to sleep. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's he gonna do without Tyreek Hill? What's this? Well,
I never
using
bought
it-
that hype.
No, I didn't either. Which is why I still say that the Chiefs will win that division.
Well, how are you feeling about Patrick Mahomes and your pick of the Chargers now, Jay?
I'm still going with the Chargers.
And I'm on the Chiefs.
I'm not over the Raiders yet. They lost 5 points to an away game to the Chargers. So I'm not off that
I'm not
bandwagon.
off the Raiders
Yeah.
either. I'm not off the Chargers either. Chargers.
I hope everybody's off the Broncos.
The Broncos, they are in their own division, I think.
Yeah.
They should have to forfeit the whole season after you lose to Geno Smith.
Right? Geno
Like,
Smith?
come on.
On Monday Night Football, week 1.
And he didn't have a bad game either.
No, Geno was all right.
He was decent.
He was decent. And that,
If you were the unfortunate soul who lost Dak, and didn't really have a backup,
you could do better than Geno.
You could probably do better than Geno, but if by chance that he's there and you desperately need one, Take a shot for a week.
Geno's fine, but if you lost Dak out there, I would say maybe go after Daniel Jones if he's in free agency.
Every league is going to be different,
Yeah.
obviously. So I really don't know who is going to be left in your guys' leagues. But if you have the option between Daniel Jones and Geno Smith, and either one of those guys could probably get you through a week or two.
Well, not 8. So let's talk about our new segment. It's called Get Dunked On.
Instead of swing, Xavier goes down the middle. Slam dunk.
Get dunked on, bro.
And what this segment is something you saw coming or something you didn't see coming. Something stupid, whether it's a player, a coach, a bad take that I had, that Jay had, that country music superstar Eric Van Houten had, that Adam had, a bad take, and you want to dunk on it.
I'm going to start with saying that country music superstar Eric Van Houten knew something about Jeff Wilson. We talked about it earlier, but because, man, did that pan out.
It did pan out, but here's who I'm dunking on, and I'm excited for this one. I am dunking on you, bro. Zach Taylor, head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the play in question here didn't necessarily affect the team, or did it? They are going down the field to win the game. He throws this nice, beautiful little out route to Jamar Chase in the corner of the end zone. Jamar Chase catches it. Looks like he gets touchdown on the video, but does he challenge it to get the touchdown? Nah, brah. Get up, run to the field, hand off to Joe Mixon up the middle. Oh, stuff for 4 yards, and you don't get the touchdown. You waste another minute and a half. You do get the touchdown eventually. Good for you. And then that extra point to win the game gets blocked. You go into overtime. You lose the game. So, Zach Taylor, for your insurgency to run to that field so fast, to not challenge the touchdown that was there, to hand it off to Joe Mixon, Captain Boren, up the middle, and lose 4 yards. Get dunked on, bro.
He loved that segment.
I'm excited.
And just to absolutely shit on the Bengals.
I'm excited.
And now he did it at the head coach level, and not just the Joe Mixon, the Joe Burrow level. It's all the way up there now, Jay.
Really, my hatred.
He shit on everyone, but then when you call him out, he's like, "Oh no, not that guy. I didn't shit on that guy."
Who did I shit on in that rant? Zach Taylor.
Yeah,
and
the Bengals.
Well, it's him. It's his coaching. I think it's horrible. He probably gets into the pat. They probably come to the sideline after Burrow just threw like a 50-yard pass to Chase and was like, "Will you calm down? We need to run clock. We need to take time off the clock. Stop throwing it down the field."
Have you been looking forward to this segment all week?
That's why this segment was created.
This is exactly why it was made. Jay, give us yours.
Mine's myself, and because I drafted Cole Kmet.
How many points did he get you?
0.
Okay.
Which is why he's fired. He's gone. See ya. Goodbye. I should have never done it. And I was like, yeah, you know what?
Well, it's not like he was your not. Wait a minute.
He was.
And still drafted him.
Yeah. You know, you live and learn.
This is great. Jay, you dunked on yourself. I'm going to dunk on myself. And the reason being is...
And him.
In a minute. Let me get there. I'm building up to that. I'm going to dunk on myself as well, not taking Justin Jefferson with the 3rd overall pick and going with Austin Eckler instead. And the reason being is because I'm going to dunk on myself and Jay for loving Adam Thielen for not doing a fucking thing during the game that Kirk Cousins threw 2 touchdowns and like 170 yards to Justin Jefferson.
And I think he threw for like 290 yards completely in general, because every time I seen something, it looks like it's to Justin Jefferson every single play.
It was really unfortunate to watch. And having Adam Thielen and had drafted him before Jay and have him in a couple other leagues as well, it was I'm dunking on us. I'm dunking on myself. On to we do, I guess.
Not a great look for us, that's for sure.
Well, you're right with the on to the week, too. Now, I mentioned that I do think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a huge week this week. Come back, just blow it up. What do you guys think? Is there any other, quarterback that you think is going to explode?
I agree with you on Aaron Rodgers, and based on his history, when he comes off a loss, he is just dynamite.
Yeah. Well, what about you? Got somebody in mind that's going to explode this week, Jay?
I don't think so. I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers do good just because I'm fucking over him. So
I just think he will. But here's another obvious one. I mean, Josh Allen Monday night against the Titans after the way they lost last year to the Titans.
I don't know if you guys follow Kyle Brandt on Twitter or social media, and he gave Josh Allen the angry run of the week for that stiff arm that he threw into the Rams sideline. I forget who it was on, but either way. I agree with you on that one. I think Josh Allen is coming out swinging.
Dude, primetime Josh.
by the way, I think Josh actually created your dunked on segment after he dunked on that defender.
He says, whatever. I'll take it from him. That's fine. Here's my fantasy advice to all you at home. Other than like James Cook or Zach Moss, start every single bill you have, including like Isaiah McKenzie in the slot.
Isaiah McKenzie had a decent game. He had 4 or 5 receptions and a touchdown.
Put him in your flex
value there. Devin Singletary is an awesome number 2 running back.
Yeah, Josh.
He had a lot of carries. I mean, Josh Allen's a
Diggs,
no-brainer.
Davis,
Diggs, and
Knox.
Not a great game for Dawson Knox.
No, but I think I'd start him this week. Start him this week.
This week, I think is going to be. Oh, he's going to be a lot more involved. And last week, I think everything else was working so well they didn't need that outlet.
Yeah,
he threw deep to Davis. He threw deep to Diggs. He dumped it. Devin Singletary had 2, 3, 4 receptions, maybe.
Moss had 6.
Outside, I agree with you. Outside of Moss and James Cook,
and maybe Crowder,
and James Cook fumbling is nothing to be concerned about. We're not going to cut him. He's not going anywhere.
Don't cut him. He's on your bench.
Sit him on the bench. Give him half a season if you can manage. I wouldn't be going out there starting him.
Here's I don't know the line, but if one of these betting lines is Josh Allen 3.5 touchdowns, over or under?
3.5?
Yeah,
I think I'm going over.
Over.
Yeah, definitely over.
Honestly, I would go over at 4.5. I think he's going to get 5 touchdowns. I think, what did he get, 4 last week?
He had 3 passing
and a rushing.
And then the rushing touchdown. So 4 total.
So, like, he could have had 5 passing touchdowns because of those turnovers.
He easily could have.
Because of those turnovers. Like, just whatever it is. Dude, what are the Bills favored right now on Monday Night Football? 9.5 points? Or something like that is the last time I seen the line. That's
against the Titans?
Yeah. That's insane.
Let's check.
For a team that stomped on the Bills the last 2 years, we're open at 9.5 favorites. I know the sad thing is that Tim Settle and
sorry to interrupt you, but the current line for the Buffalo Bills against the Tennessee Titans is Buffalo -10.
Went up to 10.
It's up to 10.
That's crazy talking.
And the Titans only lost A.J. Brown. Which is a huge hit for them.
And right now, keep in mind for the Bills that we're going to be down probably at Oliver and maybe Tim Settle, and that could be bad because of the running. But here's the problem with that. Our offense is going to be clicking. They're not going to be close.
I don't think that's a big loss for us. We have so many guys that rotate in on that defensive line that Ed Oliver not being there,
for your run stuffing, I think it could be an issue.
I don't think so.
But if you're up by 20 points, it's not going to be an issue. That's the way I look at it.
The real issue that Bills fans have is, can we stop Derrick Henry?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Like, those guys definitely need to be there to stop King Henry.
Or just get up by 21 points in the second quarter.
That'll help, for sure. But I don't think Ed Oliver is a huge deal like you're making it out to be. Does he help? Yeah, of course he does. He's a great player.
I think you're underrating him, man.
But I don't think that we just have so much depth on that defensive line that it's not going to matter if he's there or not.
All right, well, we'll have to see. That's our Monday Night Football game. That's exciting. That's the Bills' home opener. I know that Jay is going.
Yeah, you know it.
Are you going, Adam?
I will be there for the tailgate.
Yeah, me too.
Possibly the game, maybe. But
no.
Country music superstar Eric Van Houten is playing.
Oh, in town?
In town, right before the game, Monday afternoon-ish, during the tailgate party. Right outside Gate 4 for anybody listening and going to the game.
Oh,
go
like
check
right
it
at
out.
the stadium?
Yep.
Oh, shit. Well, you might have to go and dunk on him for something, for his Breece Hall pick, maybe. Maybe we can dunk on him for that. Another player that I could see doing better than people thinking next week is CeeDee Lamb. Just because, there's a new quarterback, he's not going to have 4 points again.
No, and this thing with CeeDee Lamb, he still had 11 targets.
Yeah.
Granted, he didn't do anything with them, but they were also not the greatest throws from Dak. Dak looked really bad.
Yeah. And Tampa's a great D.
Exactly.
So, don't go crazy and cut CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, absolutely not. Trade him if you want to,
Yeah.
but don't cut him. Don't give him away for free.
Well, you guys got a player. Give me a player.
I have one that it's not really too surprising, but I'm going with Tom Brady here. He didn't have the greatest game against Dallas, and he also never really has a great game against New Orleans, who they play on Sunday. But I think things are going to be different this week, and I think Tom Brady is just going to go off.
The only situation we have is literally every wideout he has a questionable or out tag right now.
I don't think that matters. I truly believe that it's just veteran rest days for these guys. That happens every single year. They always are questionable, and then they end up playing anyway. Minus Godwin, because he's actually
he's out.
He may have re-aggravated his knee.
No,
injury.
he was a hamstring.
Oh, that was a
He
hamstring.
hurt a hamstring.
Either way, his fucking leg is dead.
Like every single wide receiver for Tampa Bay has a hamstring issue right now. So every single wide receiver.
You got a comeback player this week, Jay?
I'm hoping it's going to be Zeke, especially since Dak's fucking dead. So
Very true, yeah.
So I hope it goes that way, anyways.
Well, and that could very well be true, because I'll tell you what, Tony Pollard did not look very good at all in that game.
Neither one of them did.
Zeke actually did.
Zeke looked better than Pollard.
Yeah.
Which gave a lot of hope to Zeke owners.
Right.
For sure.
And like, Tony Pollard can't block. And now you got if your offensive line is dead and now your quarterback is dead, you're going to keep Zeke out there more to make some blocks. So I think the Tony Pollard hype can be in the toilet almost the rest of the year. I'm not saying cut him yet, but I mean, I would be in panic mode if you were thinking Pollard's your flex or something.
Yeah, it's definitely risky at this point.
Especially just because of the blocking situation. I mean,
agree.
And with that offensive
totally
line
agree
being
with
so
that.
bad, another guy that I think we can't throw into the scrap heap is Mike Williams, because he's so up and down anyway. So he started the season down, and Keenan Allen's hurt. So fire up Mike Williams. Fire up Mike Williams in daily fantasy too, y'all.
I completely agree with that. I think Mike Williams is due. He had a down week, but they were also leading. So but nobody really had an outstanding fantasy day on the Chargers. Other than that, I mean, yeah,
Except Herbert.
Except Herbert, yeah. But start Mike Williams for sure. Keep Eckler. You never sit Eckler.
No.
I don't care how bad he does. You draft him in the first round for a reason.
He was never in that top of the draft category for me. I know you took him, but so did a lot of people. So I mean, for me, just Eckler was more around down, like around Najee and stuff for me. Like that's where I would have had him. Any other comeback players for you guys?
I don't think so.
Well, this is
God, I'm hoping Adam Thielen can do something this week. I'm not gonna say he's going to, but that's more of a please, fantasy gods, let him catch at least a ball.
Did he not have
At least
catch?
one?
He did. He had like 3 for like 30-something yards, but I want at least a touchdown in there to make it viable to start in my flex every week.
Well, I think everyone that's like, oh, Thielen is Kirk Cousins, security blanket. I think that narrative's dead now, because like he doesn't fucking throw to Thielen at all.
Well, and another person he didn't throw to is Dalvin Cook. I don't think he had any receptions. I think Dalvin Cook,
I don't remember any, but yeah, if he did, it was probably only like a couple.
because I'm pretty sure his stat line was like 10 points, and he ran for like 100 yards. Like was his stat line.
Yeah,
for
no
the-
touchdown and not many receptions, maybe 1 or 2.
I don't even know if it was any.
I'd have to look.
And it's not like I have a computer right here in front of me or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure Dalvin Cook had no reception. So let me find him.
Here, I have him on one of my teams. I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah, you tell us, what did Dalvin Cook have? Because I'm saying it was 0 from my memories.
Let's see here.
But I could be off. Well, he must have had one. I mean, he still had 20 receptions.
All right, Dalvin Cook. Let's see if I can find the stats here.
I'm pulling it up now as well.
3 receptions for 18 yards.
It's not a lot. More than I thought,
It's
though.
less than he normally has,
Right, and the yardage
I
was
think,
less,
and the
too.
yardage was a lot less too.
More than
They
his
must not have ran the screen very often.
more than his brother.
That's true. -1 for the fumble.
Ugh. I didn't start him. Jay, did you end up starting him at all?
No.
Nah, I couldn't.
So
Because I know he was one of your boys.
No, he's on the bench because I think could be at least some point this season probably take over, but
I still think you hang on to him, even if he's not good by week 5. I still think you got to hang on to James Cook because, like, he's gonna be that pass catching. I cannot see Zach Moss leading our, reception leader for running backs on this team.
Did he lead the team in receptions?
No.
With 6? Who had more than 6? Diggs had how
Diggs
many?
had 8.
He had 8? Okay.
Yeah.
That's not that far off.
Dude, Diggs had 8 for like 120 and a
122.
touchdown. Crazy.
And a touchdown.
And
And Davis had 4 for over 100 and a touchdown.
I think it was 80.
Something
Too
like
close
that.
to 80. But that's my thing. You heard me say that at the beginning of the year, I think Diggs is going to lead the league in receptions. I mean, he's still like half to Cooper Kupp already. But, like, I don't know. I could be right because I think Kupp had, 17?
He had 17 targets, but he had 13 receptions.
So, I mean, yeah, Kupp's got the lead. But I would not be surprised if Diggs leads the league in receptions this year because, I mean, he's going to take some of that Cole Beasley role, too.
It's crazy to me that a guy like Cooper Kupp, who we found out is 6'2", had no idea, plays the slot. And that's why he gets so many yards. A lot of people take away that outside, and they forget about the middle. Cooper Kupp was open in the middle, even against the Bills' defense, who is ranked number 1 still.
Right.
And it's just wild to me that a guy like Cooper Kupp plays in the slot, but he's so good at it, you can't put him on the outside.
Well, there was other guys like that. Like Wes Welker was like
Walker
that.
was like that. Sure, yeah, but Walker was 5'6".
That's true. So that's what made you think.
So Cooper Kupp is not your typical slot guy.
No.
This makes the argument for CeeDee Lamb too, but CeeDee Lamb plays a lot in the slot.
He's a smaller guy, though.
A lot to say, by the way.
He's a smaller guy too, but like a bigger guy that plays the slot that you don't realize is Chase Claypool.
Yeah,
he's a big boy and he's a slot receiver.
He's over 6 foot, 220 maybe.
Yeah, that's why they call him Mapletron, which might be the best nickname in football, to be honest.
Yeah, because he's Canadian.
And he's
in case
big.
you guys didn't know,
He's Canadian.
he's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Yeah.
he's Canadian.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. Well, I don't really got much else to say. I know me and Adam were talking about doing
We have a daily fantasy update for you guys.
but maybe we'll just do that on
Maybe.
the YouTube as a video.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're at 45 minutes here. I mean, we've been punishing giving our listeners an hour and 40-minute episodes. So
It's a lot. There was a lot to say before the season started. Now that the season's here, we just basically talk about how shitty Jay's team is and go from there.
well, here's my final thoughts.
Agreed.
You guys can think about your final thoughts. Here's my final thoughts. Start all your Bills. Start Aaron Rodgers. I would say if you're going to go for a receiver to pair with Aaron Rodgers, it's either Lazard or go with Romeo Doubs in that scenario. Just because if Lazard doesn't play, and my final thought before we pass it over to Adam is Zach Taylor, get dunked on, bro. What about you, Adam? What you got?
Sit every Denver Bronco that you have,
Including Russell Wilson.
including Russell Wilson. I mean, that's really all I got as my final thought. If you were high on Russell Wilson and the Broncos with Nathaniel Hackett making those dumbass calls, you're in for a disappointing season from them.
And I would fade Javonte a little bit, guys, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Didn't you draft Russell Wilson when you took 4 QBs in our league?
I did.
That would be Mr. Adam.
I was really hoping that he would have done well, so I can trade him to country music superstar Eric Van Houten, who lost Dak Prescott, but no go.
I think there were some people on the show that said that would be your worst QB on your team.
I believe there was 2/3 of
He
the
wasn't, believe it or not. Matthew Stafford was the worst quarterback on my roster.
Consistently, Russell Wilson will probably be your worst.
I think so. Well, I can't see you keeping those 3. But it's funny because my brother ended up leaving the draft, and we didn't even realize this. At the end of the draft, it took 2 more quarterbacks for him, so he had 4 quarterbacks on his roster. And he only drafted the 2 of them. He drafted Burrow and Baker Mayfield, and then they took Daniel Jones and Ryan Tannehill for him.
Well,
And they all kind of sucked.
they were all really bad.
Yeah.
So he's having a rough go.
Burrow actually had 20 points.
Yeah, so did Baker.
By
So
the end
Baker
of it,
was
yeah.
not bad.
So Burrow ended up.
But it was all garbage time,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Baker was
But
on
we
fire.
love garbage time in fantasy
Yeah.
football, so.
Well, I mean, do I have cause for concern with McCaffrey? Because, yeah, he was good, but Baker didn't check down to him a whole ton.
McCaffrey wasn't that good.
I mean, I'll take 16 points
Yeah, that's good.
in a PPR league
Yeah, not bad.
without catching the ball. I mean, he's going to get his. He's going to get his catches.
He's also going to get hurt.
You're very pessimistic about that.
One last thought before we get to Jay is don't sleep on Antonio Gibson.
He would have been my fantasy crush the last 2
I know
years.
a lot of people had some concerns with him going into the season, but 20 points.
Well, what
Not
happens
bad.
when Brian, I just shot myself in the ass? Oh, no. Brian, I got shot in the ass.
Oh.
Robinson comes back.
I still think they go to Gibson.
Okay. Jay, what are your final thoughts for week 2 or either ending of week 1 or beginning of week 2?
If you need to start a flex, look at James Robinson.
What a good game. I agree. Like
It kind of didn't surprise me with ETN coming back off the injury and just the game flow of the game was they were down. They needed to pass.
And ETN could have had a bigger game. He dropped a
He
touchdown.
dropped a ton.
And he dropped a touchdown and the blonde bomber airmailed one over his head.
Yeah, I wish I would have started James Robinson in the flex instead of fucking Adam Thielen.
Which you would have won?
Adam told me to start Adam Thielen, and
I did no such thing.
I don't think I would have won. I might have. I might have can't. Yeah, I might have.
Does this cause any concern about the stinker that Kyle Pitts had?
I knew he would suck, so
I felt the same way about Atlanta's offense, but I mean,
They were actually pretty good.
they weren't that bad.
Cordell Patterson.
Jameis Winston led a hell of a comeback
Yes, he did.
for the Saints. And with Kyle Pitts doing nothing, Drake London had a decent game.
Cordell Patterson is the
Patterson
man.
Had an outstanding game.
Here's the thing, since you guys are bad with sizes, apparently on players. You're not good with sizes on players. So, Cordell Patterson, how big is he? Just tell me. Is he a little guy? Is he a big guy?
He's a big guy.
yeah, he's a big guy.
He's like 225, 6'4", 6'5".
I mean, if like I'm gonna pull up because
Chaz is gonna be like, oh, he's 5'2".
No. He's a big guy. That's what I thought, because for a while I kind of thought he was a small guy. So
What are you, high?
he's not 6'4". He's 6'2",
Yeah,
220.
I was gonna say 6'2".
Okay, I was close. I was close.
But
okay?
that's the thing. That's a running back, though. That's different. Like Derrick Henry's an
well,
animal.
don't forget he's a converted wide receiver.
Yes, so that's why he's I think special coming out of the backfield. Because if you look at somebody even like who's the best running back in the league, people are going to say Jonathan Taylor, right? I'll still say Derrick Henry. Jonathan Taylor's size, 5'10", 220.
Yeah, I mean your average running back is usually like 5'9", 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah. So Cordell Patterson's 4 inches bigger, you know what I mean, than Jonathan Taylor. But just to put things in perspective, Derrick Henry, y'all, is 6'3", 247 pounds. That is Hulk Hogan. I've said that before. That is Hulk Hogan running the football.
Yeah, he's a big boy. And he is an actual running back,
Yeah.
not converted wide receiver.
But Cordell Patterson's better so far this year.
For now.
Right? No way.
He's also like 400 years old, so like halfway through the season he might die.
He might die, but for my 4th running back, I'm very happy. I mean, bros, in our fantasy football bros league, I won by, like I said, 60 almost.
Yeah, we get it. Okay, you won by 60 points. It's your show. Blah blah blah.
Can I tell you who I had on the bench? I couldn't figure who to start between Cordell Patterson and Kareem Hunt, and they both scored 22 points. So, like, Kareem Hunt, you guys know that was kind of a fantasy crush of mine all season. He looked pretty goddamn good, did he not?
This show has become a Chaz victory lap because it's like, look at me, look how good my team is.
Week one. I expect y'all to dunk on me if
I haven't won in a decade, but look how good my team is.
I expect y'all to dunk on me if by week 5 Trey Lance is garbage or benched or something. I expect to be dunked on. So
I will be.
and you know goddamn well I'll be revving the engine for the victory lap.
I'll be dunking on Adam too because you slowly start converting him as the weeks went on by talking about him. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I kind of like him now.
Oh, here's another victory lap since it's my show, my victory lap show. How about the tight end touchdown leader? Who's the tight end touchdown leader this week, guys?
It's not Cole Kmet, I know that.
It's definitely not Cole Kmet. I'm trying to think of who scored.
It was O.J. Howard, the tight end touchdown leader.
He scored 2, yeah. Jesus Christ.
But people out there don't go crazy. He scored 2 touchdowns. He ran, I think, 12 routes. So, he's not their guy. He's not their starter. But just keep that in the back of your mind. You never know if he plays 40% of the snaps and gets another touchdown. He could be a thing. I'm not saying he's a thing yet, though.
He could be an option in a deeper league. You're talking 14 to 16 players.
Adam, was there any good tight ends this week other than Travis Kelce?
As far as
points?
No, probably not.
The number 2 and 3 were Taysom Hill and O.J. Howard.
Taysom Hill's annoying because he lines up as a running back, and they list him as a tight end.
Actually, Yahoo, he's tight end QB.
I know, which is crazy to me.
So
but it's because, I don't know why they have him as a tight end if he just lines up as a running back.
I mean, I'm not buying Taysom Hill either, but
he had 80 yards rushing and a touchdown.
But he had a 70-yard rush.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Okay,
I'm just
70
saying
yards and a touchdown in fantasy is pretty fucking good.
But for the people at home, that's not a good game. Don't buy it.
Oh, I'm buying it.
You're buying it?
Oh, I'm buying it.
Oh, my goodness.
And there's only one reason why.
Taysom Hill. What's the reason?
Do I have to say his name again?
Say it.
Cole Kmet.
Taysom Hill has always been that guy in New Orleans. He somehow gets fantasy points. I don't care if Drew Brees is there. He came in and he ran the ball a ton. There was a time in ESPN, I believe 2 years ago, listed him as a tight end quarterback, and people were grabbing him because he was the starting quarterback.
It's cheat code, yeah.
He literally won you leagues for that reason. Yep. I'm definitely buying Taysom Hill.
The dude just... He might as well play every position at this point because he's QB, tight end, wide receiver, running back. I mean, he's going to be fucking offensive line, defensive line.
He's a baller.
He's fast. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's fast.
How old is he, guys?
He's got to be in his late 20s by now.
You think so?
Actually, maybe mid-20s, probably 25, 26.
I'm saying 27.
You guys are completely wrong.
30?
He is 32. He started late. That's the problem. He started late. Why. So he I knew he was older.
Okay.
So,
but that doesn't diminish.
No, I'm just it's random because I bet you a lot of people have the same thing. You guys think that he's young because he's only been around a few years. So it's interesting to me. But I like Taysom Hill, and
he's durable for what he does.
Put him on your bench over O.J. Howard easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're looking for a tight end, if you're streaming tight ends like Chaz does. When he punts, whoever's got the hot hand for the week, Taysom Hill is definitely a good option for you guys.
He's on my bench already.
Yeah, good job.
There you go.
Well, I don't know if I'm punted on tight end with my love for Albert Okwuegbunam.
He had a decent game. He had some catches. Russell Wilson had shit.
He had his 5 to 8 points, like I said, everybody did, because everybody, tight end was like that. But the thing that makes me happy about Albert Okwuegbunam is
not every tight end had 5 or 8 points.
That's true. There was only 5 tight ends that ran 70% of the team's routes, and it was Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, somebody else, and Albert Okwuegbunam. He was one of the only 5 guys that ran 70% of his team routes. So he's out there a lot, right? He's running routes, so it's something. If Russell Westbrook Wilson is broken, like he seems to be, Maybe his outlet is a tight end. You know, he got stopped on the 1 yard line for a touchdown. If he would have got that one extra yard, he would have had 13 points. I would have been doing a victory lap, right? So it's just, you never know. Now, I want to start because we got our nicknames here. So we're officially making a nickname for Jay's favorite player, Cole Kmet, okay? You guys have 2 options to choose from. Jay, you can pick last. Adam, you could pick first because I'll give you time to think about it. Here's your 2 nicknames for Cole Kmet. It's either Cole Kmet or Cold Kmet.
I like the first one. Kmet.
Jay, what do you think?
I like the first one as well.
So his new nickname is Cold Kmet.
Kmet. Yeah, Cole Kmet.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right, well, that's his new nickname. So, all right.
Like I said, don't take that game into consideration.
With the rain,
With
I
the
get it.
Weather
Did you drop Cole
conditions.
Kmet?
But Justin Fields had 2 touchdowns, so...
2. Fucking Austin Pettis. Not Mooney either.
Not Mooney.
I didn't drop him yet, but he's dangerously close. Like I considered it. I strongly considered it. Like I had my finger on the, and I was like, I
don't recommend it.
I'll give it some more time.
Don't recommend dropping any Bears or Niners because of that game. Just.
I agree. And if you have an IR slot, just stash Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, definitely put Mitchell on your IR. So, well, we made our hour. That's all I really wanted to make sure. So, Jay, thank you for coming on in your time of grieving for all your losing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So you're officially 0-2. Adam, how many leagues are you officially counting?
Unfortunately, I'm in 5 leagues.
Okay, you're going to count all 5 of them?
All 5 of them, I went 2 and 3.
Okay, 2 and 3. So you're kind of in the middle there.
But one of my leagues, I only lost by a few points, and I lost Dak, and Najee didn't do very well. So other than that, I had a pretty decent year.
Well, I'm in 8 leagues officially, but I'm really only counting 4 of them because they're really only ones that are for money. And out of the 4 that I'm in, I went 3-1. So it's a good start for me.
Another victory lap here.
It's all right. I mean, it's all right. I had a good week. And the team that I lost pretty handedly by thought was my best team. So, like, you don't know.
And that's the thing with football is anything can happen. And, of course, you guys listen to us and they're like, yeah, they're probably right. And then Adam Thielen doesn't do anything.
Right.
But that's not going to happen every week, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at it. I mean, Tom Brady didn't have a good week. So many good players didn't have a good week. So, I mean,
there's a chance
it's week 1. So.
There's a chance Tom Brady goes bad again. And if he does, there's a chance that somebody drops him. So keep your eye out for that.
Yeah.
If you have multiple quarterbacks on your bench,
there's a chance that someone's going to be like, if Tom Brady has another bad game and Carson Wentz throws for 3 touchdowns again, there's somebody that's going to go, Brady's dead. Give me Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Carson Wentz was a surprise because I've shit on him many times.
That was your Nabra.
He was my Nabra, one of them.
So
I may have to eat those words. We'll see how week 2 goes.
We'll have to keep going. All right, Jay, thank you for joining us as always.
Yep, no problem.
Adam, thank you again for joining us as always.
Thank you for having me.
The song that I'm going to play is a new live recording from my band, Under the Black. We just cut it. It's a live practice recording. There is a YouTube video out there for it. The song is called Ghost, and I think y'all like it, so check it out. Check out our YouTube. A lot of content coming up there. And until then, we'll see you next time on the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast. Peace.
Later, guys.
Lost The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.